This is Noah Levine with Dental Products Report. I'm here at the ADA 2011 annual session with Dr. Rod Kurthy, founder and CEO of Evolve Dental Technologies, maker of the Core Whitening System. Can you tell me a little bit about what sets your whitening system apart from other whitening products on the market?
Oh boy, where do I start? First of all, pardon me for the scratchy voice. I was lecturing all day yesterday. Anyway, there's several magic bullets to our system. The first one, as we can see, because of all the ice and snow, and of course in our booth here, as you saw a few minutes ago, it's snowing, and so cold is a theme. I've been involved in the science of whitening for many, many years. My first involvement in a scientific study in the field of whitening was back in 1977. So I've been at this for a long time, and I've always been a firm believer that refrigeration is a must. Remember that all whitening chemicals of any sort are unstable. They're supposed to be. That's a good thing. That's why they can break down when you put them in the mouth. Problem is, when you manufacture them, if they're not refrigerated, they'll start breaking down unless you put stabilizers. I don't want to put stabilizers in. Stabilizers can cause sensitivity, and they make it so that when you put them in the mouth, they're not as unstable as we want. So we are the only company ever to refrigerate a full line of whitening products from the instant of manufacture until the instant the dentists receive it. They receive it cold, then it goes into their refrigerator. So by doing that, we can have a shelf life of 18 to 24 months, yet we can have the osmolarity extremely low, so less pull on the dental tubules because we don't need the stabilizers. And of course, dentists can now have fresh whitening gels every time they receive that. So that's where we start. That's one of the things. Then the other thing is that of course we all know, and we've all heard that whitening is dependent on how effective the whitening process is and for how long of a span of time. Because all the things that are going on, they need time to get into the tooth, to cleanse the tooth, to get in there and make it whiter. Well, pretty much everybody who's watching this has either read or heard the studies that show that typical whitening gels and typical custom-made whitening trays, the whitening gels are only good for about 25 to 35 minutes before they start to rapidly taper off. Well, because of something that I developed years ago called deep bleaching trays, that we now call core seal trays, this creates a seal. It seals out the saliva and sulcular fluid, which has enzymes in it that immediately destroy peroxide. So instead of 25 to 35 minutes, we're seeing 6+ hours, with some activity out to 10 hours. So those are just a couple of the magic bullets in our system.
And in terms of the system, it's not just a whitening gel, it's an entire system as a product. So how does a practice go about applying this?
Well, it can be done as just an at-home system, or it can be done as a combination where you do the at-home first, followed by the in-office. It's a very specific impression technique and products with the proper physical properties, because if we can't get the ideal impression, we can't make those trays that I talked about that seal. So that's the critical point, is the impression and the fabrication of those trays. And then what happens is the patients come in, the dentist provides them with an at-home kit. They typically wear their trays while they sleep for 14 consecutive nights. And then after that, if you're only doing at-home whitening, you're done, other than long-term maintenance. However, if you're doing the full system, at the end of the 14 nights at home, the patients come in the practice, and they actually have an in-office visit with our product. It's a tri-barrel, because I found that with dual-barrel type systems, you can only separate the chemistry into 2 separate containers. And so you're really limited, because remember, there's a lot of things that you can't mix together ahead of time. So this is something that I've been working on in my research for years. And we've gone to a tri-barrel system where I have been able to keep the chemistry separated until mixing into 3 barrels. So I've been able to do a lot more with the formulation. And that is the product that goes on the teeth on that final visit. And that's where we get the really big boom of whiteness.
And if people are looking for more information on the Core Whitening System or Evolve Dental Technologies, where can they go?
Well, they should go to www.evolvedental.com.
Thank you very much. For Dental Products Report, this is Noah Levine. For all things dental products, you can go to dentalproductsreport.com.